allow me to provide a brief introduction on today's webinar. The 22nd edition of MIHAS will be held from 23rd to 26 September 2026 at Malaysia International Trade and Exhibition Centre, MATRADE, theme Shaping Trust, Driving Innovation. The webinar will provide insight on the upcoming MIHAS 2026, and throughout this event, halal industry players can unlock a wide range of opportunities and discuss practical strategies to successfully navigate and expand your presence in MIHAS. Without further ado, we are honored to invite Yang Berusaha, Mr. Abu Bakar Yusof, Chief Executive Officer of MATRADE, to deliver his keynote speech.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang dihormati sekalian. Terlebih dahulu saya ingin mengambil kesempatan ini untuk merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan ucapan terima kasih di atas kehadiran tuan-tuan dan puan-puan ke sesi taklimat MIHAS 2026. Terutamanya wakil dari Kementerian, Kerajaan Negeri dan agensi-agensi kerajaan. Hadirin yang dihormati sekalian, industri halal telah berkembang dengan pesat dari semasa ke semasa. Bermula dari pengeluaran sijil pematuhan, kini ia telah berkembang kepada satu ekosistem global yang dinamik, mewujudkan peluang pekerjaan, memacu inovasi dan menghubungkan perniagaan berorientasi sempadan. Industri halal di Malaysia telah dikenal pasti sebagai aset ekonomi nasional. Ia merupakan pemacu utama KD&K negara dan tunjang kepada pelan induk perindustrian negara. Pada tahun 2022, industri halal telah menyumbang sebanyak 7.4% atau 108.5 bilion ringgit Malaysia kepada KD&K Malaysia. Angka ini dianggarkan meningkat kepada 10.8% atau 231.1 bilion ringgit Malaysia pada tahun 2030. Manakala pelan induk industri halal HIMP 2030 menyasarkan ekspor tahunan sebanyak 80 bilion ringgit Malaysia atau 20 bilion US dollar pada tahun 2030. Pembangunan ekosistem halal negara turut didukung oleh penganjuran pameran halal antarabangsa Malaysia MIHAS yang merupakan pameran perdagangan halal terbesar di dunia. Pameran MIHAS pada tahun ini akan dilaksanakan dari 23 hingga 26 September 2026 bertempat di Pusat Pameran dan Perdagangan Antarabangsa Malaysia MITAC. Pada tahun lalu, MIHAS telah mencapai rekod baru di mana jumlah transaksi keseluruhan MIHAS 2025 adalah sebanyak 6.05 bilion ringgit Malaysia yang dilaporkan oleh komponen-komponen MIHAS. MIHAS 2025 turut menyaksikan penyertaan pempamer tempatan dan luar negara yang mengisi 2,400 reruai pameran. Manakala jumlah pelawat yang direkodkan adalah seramai 50,000 daripada 80 buah negara. Antara komponen utama MIHAS yang turut mendapat penekanan adalah program penyumberan antarabangsa International Sourcing Program (INSP), di mana pada tahun 2025 yang telah memadankan sebanyak 1,000 syarikat Malaysia dengan 500 pembeli berpotensi, termasuk 50 pembeli premium melalui sesi padanan perniagaan yang dianjurkan secara fizikal dan maya. Jumlah jualan yang disumbangkan oleh komponen INSP adalah berjumlah 3.63 bilion ringgit Malaysia atau 60% daripada keseluruhan nilai jualan yang dijana semasa MIHAS 2025. Pencapaian MIHAS di sepanjang penganjurannya di dalam negara semenjak tahun 2004 telah menyuntik MATRADE untuk membawa jenama besar MIHAS ke luar negara melalui penganjuran inisiatif pengantarabangsa MIHAS di beberapa pameran perdagangan terpilih. Pada tahun 2024, MIHAS telah dianjurkan di Dubai bersempena pameran Middle East Organic and Natural Product Expo Dubai yang merekodkan jualan sebanyak 2.2 bilion ringgit Malaysia Dan inisiatif kedua yang dianjurkan bersempena pameran China International Import Expo CIIE pada tahun 2025 yang merekodkan jualan sebanyak 3.2 bilion ringgit Malaysia. Angka ini bukan sekadar nombor, ia adalah bukti kejayaan yang dapat dicapai bersama. Berbekalkan iltizam dan komitmen ini, MATRADE kini telah memulakan persiapan bagi penganjuran MIHAS edisi ke-22 bertemakan merangka kepercayaan memacu inovasi bagi terus mengantarabangsakan produk dan perkhidmatan halal ke peringkat global. Tema ini adalah sejajar dengan fokus Malaysia untuk terus mengekalkan piawaian bagi memelihara kepercayaan dan pematuhan kepada pensijilan halal yang digariskan, memandangkan halal Malaysia dikenali umum sebagai yang terbaik di dunia. Rangka kerja pensijilan halal Malaysia juga telah diiktiraf di peringkat global yang mampu memberikan keyakinan kepada pembeli dan rakan kongsi di seluruh dunia. Perbezaan yang paling ketara dalam ekosistem halal berbanding industri lain adalah dari segi keupayaan industri halal untuk berinovasi seiring dengan rangka kerja kawal selia yang kukuh sekaligus mewujudkan keseimbangan unik antara kepercayaan dan momentum masa hadapan. Takbir urus yang mantap tidak akan menghadkan kemajuan, sebaliknya menjadi pemacu kepada inovasi yang berterusan di dalam industri halal. Dengan piawaian yang jelas dan terancang, ia akan menggalakkan syarikat untuk terus berinovasi. Inovasi adalah penentu masa depan kita. Atas sebab ini, kita perlu menumpukan usaha untuk melangkau dari sektor tradisional, merangkumi perdagangan digital, farmaceutical dan penyelesaian mampan. Pada asasnya, usaha ini adalah aplikasi kecerdasan buatan AI yang bertanggungjawab memperkasakan proses pembuatan keputusan yang lebih tepat berasaskan data. Bagi terus membangun dan memperkukuh industri halal negara, tuan-puan memainkan peranan penting, terutamanya wakil dari kementerian, kerajaan negeri dan agensi kerajaan bagi menarik penyertaan lebih ramai syarikat-syarikat Malaysia, terutamanya perusahaan mikro, kecil dan sederhana PMKS untuk terus terlibat di dalam agenda pengantarabangsaaan produk dan perkhidmatan halal ke pasaran melalui pameran MIHAS. Sokongan anda adalah diperlukan bagi memperkasa jenama halal Malaysia ke pasaran luar melalui MIHAS sebagai platform utama industri halal. Terima kasih dan jumpa anda di MIHAS 2026.
Ladies and gentlemen, to kickstart our first session, please join me in welcoming Ms. Suhaila Siddiq, Senior Manager of Halal, F&B and Agro-Based Section MATRADE, who will be sharing the global prospect of halal for business.
All right, thank you so much, Aizat, and our sincere apologies, ladies and gentlemen, for the glitch earlier. Now they're trying to fix it. But let's not waste time, and I would like to welcome you to our very first webinar for MIHAS 2026 this year. And of course, we have very exciting news to share. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are very, very interested to know more about what we have in store. I hope you, the audience, heard me a little bit. Let me just recap a little bit. I would like to once again welcome all of you to our webinar today, the first webinar for this year for MIHAS. And of course, we have a lot to share, and this year is going to be very exciting. I can promise you that. But before we go into the details about the platform, let's talk a little bit about the industry and why halal is fast becoming, a big prospect for all of you businesses, regardless whether you not necessarily in F&B, but also over 14 class clusters that we've identified. So let's explore a little bit about the industry. And I hope everyone can hear us very well. And if you cannot hear or if you experience anything, please do share in the chat box and I will try to fix it, okay? And my name, of course, as the MC has mentioned, my name is Zuhaila Siddiq. You can just call me Zuhaila. I just returned from my international posting. I was in Frankfurt and then in Paris, and now I'm with the Halal, F&B and Agro section at MATRADE. And this is a very, very important segment because a lot of our SMEs in Malaysia are very much involved in the halal, F&B and agro industry, of course. And that's why one of the reasons MIHAS is creating a lot of impact to our Malaysian companies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure you've heard in the media and a lot of other reports, the halal industry is a multi-trillion US dollars industry. Right. So currently, based on the latest data in 2024, the value of the halal industry has reached 3.5 trillion US dollar. So it's no longer a demographic niche, you know. Back in the days, of course, it's very much confined to the Muslims, but now the demographics, the interest of the demographics come from non-Muslim communities as well. Because, all right, if I can just ask the audience to mute their microphone, that would be very, very helpful. Thank you so much for your support. All right, coming back to the value of the industry. Like I mentioned, because the value of this industry is huge, it has evolved into a universal benchmark for quality, safety, and ethical consumption. All right, of course, we have a steady and loyal market size of 2 billion Muslims around the world, but there's a rising group in terms of demand from the non-Muslim because of the adoption in the best practices in halal industry that it ensures responsible practices is being applied throughout the supply chain. So that's why the supply chain, when it comes to transparency for halal industry, is very, very well articulated. All right, ladies and gentlemen, did you know that halal is one of the top 10 industries in the world? And this shows that halal is a dynamic industry. It even is competing with the other big industries like financial services, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, e-commerce and retail, as well as energy and the oil and gas industry. So that's how dynamic the industry is right now. So the halal market commands a share equivalent to all these major legacy global sectors. Next. So one interesting thing that I would like to point out, ladies and gentlemen, the way that you want to, if you're already in halal business, right, you have to communicate your business in these three pillars, yeah? One is that you are complying with the halal standards. Number two, because of the halal standards, there are a lot of intersections with the ESG mandates and also in the ISO benchmarks. So having these three qualities intersecting with one another, it makes you a very solid business. So you have a lot of a very good value proposition to pitch to your global buyers. So achieving halal compliance provides a structural shortcut to fulfill the global ESG and ISO requirements. Like I mentioned, there are a lot of intersections between halal, ESG, and ISO. So because of this, making it a critical risk mitigation tool for secular global enterprises. Next. There are 14 clusters involved in halal industries right now, ladies and gentlemen. They can be divided into four main areas. Number one is technology and foundation. Number two, business and services, lifestyle culture, and consumables and life sciences. As you can see, the segmentation of the subsectors within these main pillars, you can see the various opportunities lie ahead of you if you were to be involved in the halal economy or scale up your business in the halal economy. Next. But we do identify some key sectors that we want to highlight to you with rising growth. These four particular segments are showing very strong and solid growth based on the data. So one is halal ingredients. It acts as a critical building blocks for global cosmetic and pharma supply chains. For example, there's a massive demand for halal ingredients in China and the USA. And secondly, of course, pharmaceuticals and medicals, driven driven mainly by the demand for zero harm, ethically sourced active pharmaceutical ingredients or APIs. And currently, in terms of halal export, we can see the top importer comes from the United States. And thirdly, one category that we should look into when it comes to halal industry is cosmetics and personal care. There's a rapid adoption in Asian hubs seeking cruelty-free and clean beauty alternatives. And of course, halal is very much aligned with all the values I mentioned earlier. And we can see one of the top importers in the world when it comes to halal cosmetics and personal care is Singapore. And of course, don't take for granted the development of e-commerce and digital trade. There's a strong digital infrastructure development which enables better connectivity for cross-border B2B and B2C halal trade. Next. All right. And talking about e-commerce and digital trade, I just like to bring your attention a little bit about our Madani Digital Trade Platform, or the MDT Trade. It's also integrated with our MIHAS, and later we can talk a little bit about that. But this is basically an added value if you want to, have a complete or comprehensive experience at MIHAS. Of course, if you're present here at MIHAS in September physically, then you get to enjoy all the, human connection values. But also after MIHAS concludes, what happens after that? This is where MDT can come into the picture and bring value to you even after MIHAS. So this is of course available 24 hours, 24/7, and you can engage with potential buyers and have the presence of your business, including the list of your capabilities that we can highlight through your certifications onto your platform. So you have your virtual presence through the MDT and your physical presence at MIHAS that will bring greater value for you. And next. Okay, a little bit to recap the trade data. So last year, ladies and gentlemen, just to highlight once again, we have exceeded the 3 trillion ringgit value in our trade performance. Total trade reaching 3.061 trillion ringgit. Export increased by 6.5%, reaching 1.6 trillion. And import also increased by 6.2%, reaching 1.45 trillion ringgit. So globally right now, where does Malaysia stand? In terms of our positioning in trade, we are number 24 in the world, 25 in export in the world, and 24 in import in the world. So when it comes to halal export, we have set a target, the government has set a target to reach an export value of 80 billion ringgit by 2030. Or equivalent to 18.9 billion US dollars. So, and to date, as of November, Malaysia total halal export has reached 5.64 billion. And we are, I think our sister agency, HDC, the Halal Development Corporation, will be announcing the full year trade figure very soon. And I would like to also bring your attention to ASEAN as a regional bloc with a lot of opportunities. I would definitely encourage those in Malaysia or in ASEAN in general to leverage on the inter-ASEAN connectivity, to build more trade among our peers in the region. And there's a growing purchasing power among growing middle class and younger population in ASEAN, which I think makes the region a very attractive hub for the world to do business. So a lot of countries around the world are looking into Southeast Asia, and Malaysia is at the epicenter. Mainly one of the things that brought us to that position is because of our strength in halal. Yeah, next. So looking back into our halal export performance, we anticipate in this the market leaders to remain the same countries because based on last year's performance, China, for example, still leading in terms of global demand with trade reaching 8.9 billion ringgit. And one of the key top performing subsectors is in the F&B. And for Singapore, there's a surge in halal ingredients with total export value reaching 7.1 billion ringgit. And the US, of course, is performing very well in terms of our halal export performance and driven mainly by the palm oil derivative segment. All right. So these are probably the key markets that you want to look into if you're in this industry or any relevant or related industry supporting the main industry that I mentioned in this particular slide. All right, next. So let's go into MIHAS. Of course, MIHAS is the world's largest halal trade fair. It's going to take place from the 23rd until the 26th of September this year at MITech, of course. And we are very, very excited to welcome you. And of course, later on, our event organizer, ES Exhibition, will be sharing with you the details on how you can take part, what can you expect, at the event. Next. So just to, showcase the strength of MIHAS, of course, apart from being the largest, we have been recognized by the Guinness World Records for the largest attendance for halal trade show, and then we are also recognized by UFI, and because for UFI there's categories that you need to meet in order for them to recognize you, and one of it is the number of visitors. So you have to reach a certain threshold in order to be recognized by UFI, and MIHAS has reached that level. And next. So since 2004, MIHAS was introduced in that year until 2024. We have accumulated these ROIs. We have hosted more than 528,000 visitors from over 80 countries. We have facilitated companies that took 15,514 booths at MIHAS, and we have created a total sourcing opportunities amounting to close to 17 billion ringgit, ladies and gentlemen. Next. So one of the key things, or one of the signature items that we have at MIHAS, is the International Sourcing Program, or the INSP. So over the years, we have facilitated thousands of companies. I would like to say the INSP is like the business matching or the speed dating for businesses. So over the years, INSP alone has contributed more than 35 billion ringgit in export generation. The way we do this is very signature or very exclusive to the way MATRADE does the B2B matching. It currently uses both technology, AI matching, and also then the human intervention to make sure that you are meeting the right people. So it's not just purely dependent on the technology facility, but also the human intervention, making sure that the matching matches the context of businesses between two parties. All right, so next. Just to recap last year's performance for MIHAS KL, MIHAS in Kuala Lumpur, in total, we have generated an export value of 6.05 billion ringgit, ladies and gentlemen. This is a huge number, driven mainly by the INSP, of course, our business matching initiative, which accounts for more than 60% of total export value generated through MIHAS last year, and 1.89 billion generated from our showcase alone. And of course, for the global buyers, we are also creating opportunities for them to meet with Malaysian buyers through the hosted buyer program. And coming back to the INSP, we have facilitated the matching of 600 Malaysian exporters with 400 international buyers, and more than 50,000 visitors has enjoyed or experienced MIHAS last year. And this year we are looking forward to welcome more visitors, because we have a lot more to offer and very interactive experience that you can expect at MIHAS this year, as we are going to leverage a lot on artificial intelligence technology. All right, next. So as you know, ladies and gentlemen, after 2 decades of organizing MIHAS successfully, MIHAS has gained popularity among global players because of, it's not just featuring the F&B sector, but also 14 other clusters, mainly because halal is an added value proposition for many industries. So because of this, versatility of MIHAS as a platform, we have started to globalize or internationalize MIHAS, and the first global edition of MIHAS took place in Dubai in conjunction with Menope. I'm pretty sure that some of you might have participated as well under the Malaysia Pavilion there, and we have generated more than 2 billion ringgit in total export. Award at MIHAS Dubai. And last year, we went to Shanghai. MIHAS Shanghai was organized in conjunction with the China International Import Expo, if I would get it correctly. But in short, it's called CIIE, ladies and gentlemen. So in total, through the CIIE, we've generated an export value of 3.2 billion ringgit. And we, of course, at these two events, we brought our signature INSP program to those events. So while the Kuala Lumpur version would be the largest scale in terms of our INSP, but there are compact versions of this INSP brought overseas through MIHAS. So this is something that I think is very, very unique to MIHAS and MATRADE as a trade promotion organization. Next. So I don't want to take up too much time. I'm pretty sure that a lot of you want to know a lot more about how you want to participate, how you can participate. So mark your calendar today, 23rd until 26th September. We have a lot to share with you later on. The INSP itself will be taking place on the first day, and we'll make sure that you can you register on TPMS to take part in the INSP. But most importantly, be there, be present, leverage on each other's connection and also strength. This is very difficult time, in terms of geopolitical situation. We need to work very good, we need to work together better now in this current situation. And we hope that MIHAS can offer that platform for you to identify new ways of doing things, new opportunities to explore together by using halal as a value proposition. So that's it from me for now. I would like to now invite our colleagues from the ES exhibition to share a little bit about what's in store in MIHAS and Cik Aklan. And I hope you can share your questions later in the chat box. Over to you, Cik Aklan.
Terima kasih. Thank you, Puan Zuhaila. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi to all my colleague Muslims, and also greetings to all the others. If I'm not mistaken, today, 27th day that we are being appointed as the new event manager for the MIHAS 22nd MIHAS series. Okay, guys. Puan Zuhaila already shared with you guys about the whole entire statistic, how positive MIHAS was. You see, what I'm trying to share now with you guys are more of how to make sure that we'll always be close to the developments or statistics that we're going to share soon about how MIHAS this time around can actually benefit. Yeah. Okay. Look, in a nutshell, I can say that this time around kind of an engagement, it's more of how to get to know each other. We as the new event manager and you all as the main stakeholder. In other words, as the one that will make sure to make the whole entire ecosystem complete in this equation, of course, the exhibitors. Yeah. And we did our research and we did our diggings about what MIHAS is all about. But this engagement, it's more of how you guys as an exhibitor can actually share from your point of view. Because I believe that you guys know MIHAS more than we do as a new manager. Yeah, so this is where we, like what the previous speaker said, that we have to work together. One of how we work together is for you guys to share information, how to make this MIHAS to be a better MIHAS than any series before, subject to what is happening in the global situation now. I think we cannot negate the fact that we still have to do business. In other words, we have to put food on the table. Yeah. And I guess in a business point of view, you invested a lot of money. You just want to make sure that you're going to invest in MIHAS and you want to make sure that you got your ROI. Yeah. And I need to know also in this engagement to know about your expectation, what you guys expect in the past. Have we delivered? I mean, the previous, have they delivered? And what exactly that you expect for the future? Yeah. And of course, we will talk about your participation. And the most important thing, of course, you will always ask about the best location for your booth and how much that's going to cost you. Yeah. Of course, to associate with that too, you will just say, do I have a good deal? In other words, discounts. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm just going to go straight to the slides, as you can see on the screen. Yeah, MIHAS this time around, they have about 14 carefully curated industry cluster. Yeah, and it's actually, they created this because this, they believe, is a vital component to have a modern global halal economy. Yeah, so I believe that, as you can see, all those clusters listed on that screen, from food and beverage all the way to the 14 one, Islamic arts craft, is actually the most important ingredients to make sure that the whole entire ecosystems of the halal economy will actually be as what you see now in MIHAS. Yeah. Okay. So across the board, this is what we're gonna put in a nutshell, that we're gonna produce to you according to your interests. You know, from food and beverage, modest fashion, lifestyle, e-commerce, education, retail, food technology, pharmaceutical, halal ingredient, media, Islamic cosmetics, Muslim-friendly tourism services, enables, and art, Islamic art and craft. If any of these does not fall in your category, please let us know. Or maybe it was not actually clearer indicated, let us know. Maybe we can help you. Yeah? Okay, next slide, please. Okay, the next slide will actually explain every 14 cluster about how significant they are in terms of statistics. I'm not going to touch all because you guys will definitely have a copy of this. Yeah, but I will choose one or two which I think that can become a catalyst that will actually become a fuel to all existing clusters that we have across the board. Yeah, one of it is the food and beverage, because food and beverages is one of the most important cluster, because this will bring everything together. You will see this clearer when I share you the 4-plan, because the 4-plan this time around, we change it because we are using this vertical cluster to just make sure that there are future development, future expansion, and it will also give a free, relaxed kind of a demand, or maybe participations, or whatever you call it, as far as the participations of MIHAS this time around. Yeah, as you can see, food and beverage. Look, the statistic was given to you guys earlier, but I can just summarize it in a very simple words so that you guys can help. Well, I can say that it can help you to make your decisions to participate in this new MIHAS. Yeah. Okay. For example, the Asian market, they're expecting about 25%, 300 million. Okay. It will not say anything here, but allow me to finish this. Okay. Global, about 2 billion. Population, people, 2 billion. And 300 to 600 million market is in this region. We read and we heard in the social media, in the public domain, newspaper, mainstream, Middle East, European, they are at war, but they still need to eat. They still need to do business as usual. They still have to do it. But our region here, we are, well, of course, it will affect the business. But then again, if you look at it from the positive point of view, it will actually bring some benefit to us. Like, for example, yeah, we have about, what, globally 7 to 8 trillion potential growth of business, and 45% is actually in this region, plus Asia Pacific. 600 million in this region. Malaysia itself already captured about 300 million USD businesses. Indonesia is about 1.46 million. Okay, this figure meant nothing. But this is something that maybe, that if you really want to invest a similar, or I can say the cheapest, as far as the exhibition is concerned, is in MIHAS. Because Malaysia itself is actually already strategically located between Eastern Europe. You see, so they have to find a place where they can actually source, as far as halal is concerned. And in fact, Malaysia, among all the countries in this region, is the only country already regard halal as one of their main economic contributor. Unlike in Thailand or in Indonesia, they still treat that as a market niche. You see, so look at that potential. Yeah? Okay, now, next slide, please. The other things that I want to touch is about the modest fashion. Okay. the statistic shows in the past, this has not actually really significantly proven as one of the important as far as the exhibition is concerned. But don't get me wrong, we don't measure based on how many booths we have in the hall, because the market itself can contribute, just like last year, it's about 1.7 billion this in this region, and potentially will increase 100%, 1,000% to become 2.3 trillion in 10 years' time in this region. So again, this is the potential businesses and also clusters that we will expand in this new MIHAS 22nd series. Yeah. So again, overall, I have to share this again. The statistic shows 40% this region will actually represent those clusters. Yeah. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. E-commerce. Again, we have 2 billion strong Muslim consumer all over the world. Yeah. 350 million Indonesia itself. So the whole population, not just about halal things, but we have about 600 million people in this region, Asia region, not to mention Asia Pacific. Asia Pacific countries like China, Korea, Japan, and of course Taiwan. These are also another potential businesses in halal. You see, so now we are creating this platform, not just to sell, but also to have a platform where buyers can come and do trades. So if other parts of the world are not able to do this, but MIHAS can do that. So this is where, as we move forward, beyond boundaries, kind of a trade and businesses, e-commerce is one of the most important clusters in MIHAS this time around. And now with this, people talk about the artificial intelligence integration. Almost everybody talks about it. In fact, Malaysia, I think one of the countries that really championing this. So I guess why don't we try to take the advantage of AI, where efficiency and also compatibility of how our local capability can do business internationally. You see, so not only overseas, but you can actually invite them to come to Malaysia. Yeah. So by joining MIHAS, not only that you helping the icon show of our country, Malaysia, but you can also see how the process this time around, we try to create new experience that you will appreciate. We are not here to actually teach you guys how to do your businesses. It's a process. You see, what we share with you, I know definitely you can find this under the public domain everywhere. This is not something that, we can just plug it from the air and say that, okay, we got all these figures. You can find it. But what we can actually tell you this time around, having this new manager, we can make and assist you the process seamless as possible. We will help you to find and to make sure that your ROI will be met, to make sure that the people that you see we have all the lists, the buyers and everything, that will go through all the process without any hassles. So these are the things that we can guarantee you. But then again, this is not an individual or one party kind of an effort. We have to work together. That is one of many reasons, the objective of having this engagement, because we want to be engaging, with you guys so that we know what exactly your expectation, try to rectify what is actually happening in the past. So to make sure that, this is not just about one series, because we are being appointed to organize or to manage the show for 5 years. So by the end of the 5th years, we want to know that you very happy, and then you will eager to wait for the next one to come. So you say that, the best sought after shows as far as halal is concerned, and we would like to hear that it's MIHAS. Yeah. Okay. Next, please. Okay, the rest, as you can see on the screen, but what I'm gonna share this with you guys later. We have a chat bot, and we have all the people later to share all the contact details. We will share you, and then it's going to be a easy way of communicating, because I will spare all the details, and because I'm not gonna take too much of your time, I'm just gonna go details on the things that I want you guys to hear, so that when you go back, you will help you to make your decision whether to participate in the MIHAS this time around. Okay, next please. Yeah, again, this is the same service number. As you can see, it's a self-explanatory on the screen. Next please. Okay, here I'm going to touch about this. Okay, this is the cluster. As you can see, the highlighted in green is about the profile of the exhibitor, the supplier, the one that will come to the show and provide the services. So when buyers come, they know who exactly they want to meet. And as you can see on the right side is the profile of visitors, the people that the exhibitor expect to see. And it could be maybe it's among exhibitors and exhibitors, you see, because we are bringing the whole entire world to Malaysia. You see, so it's not just meant for visitors and exhibitors. It could be exhibitors to exhibitors and also visitors to visitors. We want to make sure that this MIHAS around is not just about the conventional MIHAS like before or any exhibition that you have attended before. It's a business where everybody come across the board. They can just do business whoever they want with. Yeah, but of course, here we are here to actually facilitate that. Yeah. Okay. Next, please. Okay. So these are also the extensions of all the 14 cluster. I mean, who are the exhibitor that will be attending and also the visitors that they expect to see in the trading between the parties and the stakeholders for this show. Okay. Next, please. Okay. Okay. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about this. As I said again, I'm just going to give you a feel how this. I know most of you guys been to MyTech before. Okay. The only thing that you can see, if you really remember, only a bit here and there of the statistic we change. Like, for example, we're going to use the whole entire area. So when we use the whole entire area, if I'm not mistaken, MyTech has an area built of about 40,000 square meters. So we use the whole entire area. No other shows, only MIHAS. So you just imagine, whoever goes there, whoever that you talk to a stranger, they are all as stakeholders and also relevant to the MIHAS show. So we have 3 levels, as you can see there. Level 1, level 2, and 3. And the one that I want to share with you, the new things about this, which I'm going to go detail every level later, is the registration will be all in level 3. We thought of changing it a bit, but we believe that this is the best way. We thought about it, but this is the best way that we will, with this kind of an arrangement, it will actually help to ensure that the spreads of visitors will be equally given to all potential exhibitors that participate in the show, because they will register from the top level and they will be directed and ushered manually with some mechanical kind of a system to ensure that they will go in and out every level, and the last one they will finish at level 1 and they will disperse. Yeah. Okay. Don't worry about this. As we go one-to-one to you guys, we will explain more, because maybe this also, I believe, will help you also to decide the best locations that you will choose to be in MIHAS. Yeah. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, as you can see here, okay, we have actually curated by indicating an areas according to the clusters. How big? As I said again, we base on the result and also the trend in the past based on numbers. Yeah. But then again, as I said, how we do the mechanism is the easiest and the safest way is a first come, first serve basis. So if, let's say, for example, you see e-commerce, media, recreation, arts, craft has a more demands this time. So if we can actually expand it from there. So it's more of like kind of I use the word jigsaw puzzle, but don't take me literally. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, but this is where we thought that by whoever comes first, we secure the place, pay the place and everything, they will get that place. If there's an extension, it will affect the next to it. Okay, don't worry about if, let's say, all expansions, that's the reason once I show you the other level of the exhibition, that will actually accommodate if there's any expansions, any of this cluster in this level. Yeah, as you can see, the one that highlighted in green, this is actually priority given to the sponsors. Okay, we will talk about this separately about the sponsors, because we have a package about the sponsor. I guess that, for those who have taken the sponsors before, nothing much change. Maybe the only thing is that we add more value to it. Yeah. Okay. Next. Okay. As you can see, it's still the same. The only difference is that this floor, we have a country pavilion. Yeah. And my apology. Can we get maybe the slides before? Yeah, as you can see the slides before, the one that furthest to the right, you can see the one highlighted in what should I say that yellow, brown, beige color, the INSP and hosted lounge. Okay, this is where, as you guys who actually been to MIHAS, nothing changed. We're gonna have this in this area for the INSP program and hosted buyer lounge. As I said again, if you want to have those details, we can have a separate meeting or separate discussions on this. Yeah. Okay. So we have in this floor also the INSP hosted buyer lounge. And next level, please. And here also we have it, the second one. But this one also the extension, if let's say there's an expansion in level 1. So basically now, why we did these two almost identical is because that, except for this level, we have country pavilion, because we want to make sure that, this is the story that we have for now, that we want to have an expansion, potentially expansions of MIHAS in 5 years down the road. You see? So I hope that equally, almost all, according to the percentage, will expand accordingly in 5 years. Unlike before, where because of the wall bound, some clusters are not able actually to expand because they already peg it into one place. For example, FMB. And as you know, FMB is the crowd puller. So whoever goes with the FMB in level 1, and if it's not actually indicated in other levels, that will give a discouraging sales, or also discouraging participation for some exhibitors, because I believe in the past that's how some issues arises, where they said that the numbers are not equally spread in terms of visitorships. So this time around, with this kind of a arrangement, it will actually eliminate or at least reduce this, because this is an education process. Because I know the visitor, I get used to it for the last 21st series of MIHAS. I think they've been having this kind of so I think this is a bit more approachable and safe to say, like for all exhibitors that invested a lot of money, they want to make sure that they will make sure that all those potential quality visitors will come and visit their booth. Yeah. Okay. As far as I'm concerned here, I think that's about that. Let's see what we have in level 3. Yeah, there you go. So this is more, as you can see, we have all the Ministry, State Agency Association, Country Pavilion too. Yeah. Again, priority given to the Ministry, State Agency Association and Country Pavilion. We will have a mechanism how to do this, because definitely you're going to ask what type of a country pavilion in this level, and also the other one on the other lower level. Okay, as I said, again, we will have a Q&A later. But what I want to highlight here is about how the other not so trendy kind of a business trade, very straightforward for business point of view. Like you can see, now we're going to introduce women in international exhibitions feature cluster. I mean, that's cluster, it's actually feature. But this one also in an area where it was actually done before, but in a very small presentation establishment. But this time around, we're going to make it bigger, where we're going to encourage more women entrepreneurs, senior managers, and also products and services. And hopefully, in the future, this will be another demand and also crowd puller for the MIHAS features. Yeah, so we put it there. Of course, the modest fashion, and it's intertwined with cosmetic, obviously personal care. And the best one, as you can see, experience zone. In other words, it's like a tech talk, where everybody have the experience or privilege to actually share about their products, technology, name it, as far as the business is concerned. And we're gonna have also MOU. Yeah, so this it's open. Anybody want to do MOU, talk to us, or anybody that you're comfortable to talk to the organizer. We will assist you on this. And of course, we will have this MIHAS Pocket Talk studio. And as you can see below, just in front of the entrances, we also provide an area for sponsors. Yeah. And just before the entrance on the right side, as you can see, that area, it's where above a bit going to be the opening ceremony. And we're going to put the MATRADE pavilion just at the foyer. Yeah. Okay. So I guess that's straightforward. Of course, I mean, there's a lot of things, a lot of information, there's a lot to digest here, but you're going to have this, whatever that you can pick up, you can actually discuss, you can throw question. I don't mind answering you guys back. And then we just want to make sure that you guys understand the concept, the format this time around. Yeah. take as much as time you can, just study it. And we are here to really try to make sure that this is going to be a new experience for you guys. And we try to reduce whatever issues or mitigate whatever issues you have in the past. If let's say any of that was not actually mentioned or seen in this presentation, you can actually ask later and we will try to mitigate that. Yeah. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. Now, the value added that we can actually put, MIHAS 26, self-explanatory, digital intelligence, tech-driven trade, high-impact marketing, and celebrity synergy. Our government now are really, really into digital. Because I guess we believe that because of whatever issues and incidents or whatever that caused the global market changes. So that's why I think the digital is the only thing that solves all that issue. So even if like the previous pandemic and now with all the war, but you still can do business through digital. So as you can see now, we have these Madani digital integrations, 734 registered companies here in Malaysia. So you just imagine if this 734, we're gonna house it in MITEC. I think MITEC have to build another 7 buildings. But with this digital, you can have access to all this, not only during MIHAS, but you can actually have access throughout until the next series of MIHAS. You know, okay. As you can see, now it also enhanced the presence with this technology kind of approach that we intend to use, which as we speak now, my other team is actually now curating and improvise and call it whatever you say about the artificial intelligence to help to make sure that MIHAS platform this time around is going to provide you a new experience. Yeah. And then of course, high impact marketing, celebrity, and synergy. We are going to spend more. I think with the organizer directions and then help to emphasize on the importance of how to make sure that, you know what, whatever penny that you put in this MIHAS is going to give you a very good ROI. So one of it is to have a very good high impact marketing, celebrity, and synergy. Yeah, as you can see there, the massive brand exposure, top tier influencer. You see, so we not only use local influencer, but we also use international. We will share with you guys in detail, maybe later or in our next engagement. Yeah, okay, like global media coverage, because now we are international show, but it's actually made in Malaysia. You see, and by doing so, we want to also say that in this region we are number one. 20 years. Bangkok, Indonesia, I think this year will be the second year. So that's why when you look at or searches in the public domain, the first thing that will come out, MIHAS is number one in the world. You see? But how much information that we can actually extract on it when we say it's number one? The only simple question answer is that work with us, because you know why? You are the players. You deal with all these people. So tell us so that we can put it all together. So when you spend your money, it's going to be very, very cost effective. Yeah, you can actually reach more than whatever saving that you have. Yeah, work with us. But definitely we will do that. Yeah. Okay, now this is the next slide. Okay, global, next slides. Okay, now just want to go through all this. This is what we have in mind. This is the new experience that we're gonna bring this time around. Yeah, new experiences like this. As I said again, we are not here to teach how you do your businesses. We are actually helping you in a process. Whatever that may be in terms of technology, whatever in terms of marketing, resources that you are lacking, this is where MIHAS comes in, and this is where we come in, because we're gonna help you guys. We try to tailor it to your needs, to your requirements, to any issues that you faced in the past. So that's why, in a nutshell, that's why we created this frame, as you can see on your screen now, the artificial intelligence in making the whole entire new experience in MIHAS. Yeah, as I said again, this is new, but it's also proven in other shows. But for MIHAS itself, because look, we have all the experience memorably, but then again, the insight, the content, we have to really study it. But overall, across the board, it's all proven that AI now has become the solutions for any issues as far as the exhibition is concerned. Yeah, we will share this more with you, especially the AI B2B matchmaking and also the AI CRM strategy. So these are the things that maybe, after this, we will tell you exactly how this thing can actually help you operationally on the ground during the show or even before and after. Yeah. Okay. Next slide, please. There you go. I think this is all the thought. You will wait for this, right? Okay. The next one you will say, wow, price increase, right? The next one you will say, how much discount you can give, right? Okay, look. I'm not here also again. I like to emphasize this. We are not here to tell how much that this will take from your operational cost, how much this will take from your revenue, how much this will actually help you to expand your business, maybe will help you in your investment. Take a look. MIHAS, 20 over years. 20 over years. And it's happening in Malaysia. Google it, and you say that that's the best shows. Other than that, the unconventional halal show, the conventional non-halal show, well, you talk about Sial, you talk about Anuga, you talk about Food and all that, but none of those are actually a very focused halal show, like MIHAS. Of course, you can talk about Gulf. You talk about Dubai halal show, Saudi Arabia. Yes, we do that. But their market, it's more on the Middle East, MENA market. But when you talk about global, what we found out, there's only one show talk about that, is the one in Istanbul. But Istanbul, compared to our show MIHAS is 20 times better. In terms of size, in terms of numbers, statistics, you name it. And not to mention about the potential local companies. HDC, they have about 12,000 companies, halal companies registered. Istanbul doesn't have that. You see? So they are actually promoting international. They are actually targeting international. We also targeting international, but our emphasis is the 45% with this current geopolitical issue. We are focusing now, MIHAS 22nd, 45% Asia Pacific market. So with that, whether we like it or not, we would love to just maintain the price. And I believe the price the last time, I know for some of you have actually gotten a very good deal. I understand that. Unfortunately, MIHAS this time are being affected whatever happened in the global scenario now. In a nutshell, we increase about 15% average for this time around. But we are open to talk. In fact, also, as I speak, I don't mind sharing with you. Before end of this month, I'm going to declare 10% of, they call it early bird. Well, I'm not too sure about early birds anymore because we only have 5 months. Yeah. But to get your commitment in this webinar who attended, we can just declare to you, we are giving you 10% discount until end of the month. Okay. But then again, as I said, we are open for discussion because if, let's say, more value that you can actually bring for MIHAS, help us to actually make MIHAS a better experience, to assist us to make sure that, you know what, our effort to make sure MIHAS this time around, the one better than before, come on, talk to us. We can always work together to make sure that, your experience this time around worthwhile, your ROI, you can tell. I'm not talking about short term. We are talking about long term because we're going to manage this MIHAS for 5 years. We are creating a new story about MIHAS because we want to be the number one, not just about statistics, because statistics, we have to prove it to you, but we want it to be the talk of the town, that any shows, just like how people talk about Sial. Not so many people knows about Sial, but they know Sial is the biggest show, 60 over years track record in the world. We want that for MIHAS. Yeah. So this is the price, established price, rate, 10% discount, discuss. Yeah. Okay, next slide. Very straightforward. I don't have my names listed there, but I'm Aklan Paklub. I'm the head of the exhibition. These are all my stuff. I will share with them. If you want to talk to me, you can talk to me direct. But all my stuff there, they are all well-versed of the whatever that I share. They talk the same language. We sing the same song. We dance with the same tune. So talk to them, share your views, how many you want. We are open for all the deals that we have. You see, time running short. We have only 5 months. Yeah. The first thing first that I will encourage you guys, go and take your place first. Make sure you secure your booth. Then after that, we discuss. So what are the things that you require? So to make sure that, you know what, wherever money that you invest, you know, if you're the boss, you have a very satisfied heart. If you're not, then you can tell the boss, look, this is the best investment ever at this current moment in this region, because there's no any other shows that can represent this kind of a statistic. Because Puan Zulaiha just share with you the trend of MIHAS, it has become a positive trend. So meaning like, if this was not good, we can use this statistic saying that there's nothing new for this MIHAS, but it's proven. The only thing is that make the best out of it, whatever. So how? Talk to us, engage with us, or we engage with you. It's how we can make this MIHAS this time around to your advantage. So you will be the very happy person. Yeah? Okay. So now, is there any questions so far? If you guys are not really into this live kind of a question, I think we have the chat bot. You can actually drop any questions there, and then we will take it from there. Yeah.
Mr.
Okay.
We will take the Q&A session after this
Yes?
at the end, Mr. We will take the Q&A session after this at the end.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, good lah, moderator, because I've just got too excited once I talk about the event, because I just want to make sure you guys really got the message, because we really believe that MIHAS, not just because that we are the new event manager, but we have a 30 over years experience in doing this. Yeah, we cover almost all the major industry here in Malaysia, and this is the first time for halal. So we believe that this is the future, the next oil. That's what I believe, the next oil for the industry, halal. So I guess if there's nothing else, I will just finish here, and thank you so much for having the time to listen to my presentation, and we will have the Q&A later. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Ms. Waila and Mr. Aklan, for the insightful presentation. From both sessions, we can clearly see how the global halal industry continues to grow as a powerful economic force, valued at over USD 3.5 trillion and expanding beyond traditional sectors into a comprehensive global ecosystem. What is especially important is how MIHAS 2026 plays a critical role in bringing this ecosystem together through its 14 strategic industry clusters, connecting businesses across the full halal value chain. More importantly, MIHAS is not just a platform for showcasing products, but a gateway for real business opportunities, facilitating trade, partnerships, and global market access through structured programs, strategic networking, and digital innovation. I realized that the beginning of our webinar just now, we have a little bit glitch. I would like to apologize to all our audience. But actually, I'm trying to get all attention, Puan Zaila. That's why now I can see in the chat box, we have a lot of people talking and giving it full attention on our webinar, which is good. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to our next session, we would like to invite your attention to a special keynote address by the Chief Executive Officer of MATRADE. This keynote will actually supposed to set the tone for the next segment, but we almost closing to the last session. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming the keynote speech by the Chief Executive Officer of MATRADE, Yang Berusaha Mr. Abu Bakar.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang dihormati sekalian. Terlebih dahulu saya ingin mengambil kesempatan ini untuk merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan ucapan terima kasih di atas kehadiran tuan-tuan dan puan-puan ke sesi taklimat MIHAS 2026. Terutamanya wakil dari Kementerian, Kerajaan Negeri dan agensi-agensi kerajaan. Hadirin yang dihormati sekalian, industri halal telah berkembang dengan pesat dari semasa ke semasa. Bermula dari pengeluaran sijil pematuhan, kini ia telah berkembang kepada satu ekosistem global yang dinamik, mewujudkan peluang pekerjaan, memacu inovasi dan menghubungkan perniagaan berorientasi sempadan. Industri halal di Malaysia telah dikenal pasti sebagai aset ekonomi nasional. Ia merupakan pemacu utama KDNK negara dan tunjang kepada pelan induk perindustrian negara. Pada tahun 2022, industri halal telah menyumbang sebanyak 7.4% atau 108.5 bilion ringgit Malaysia kepada KDNK Malaysia. Angka ini dianggarkan meningkat kepada 10.8% atau 231.1 bilion ringgit Malaysia pada tahun 2030. Manakala pelan induk industri halal SIMP 2030 menyasarkan ekspor tahunan sebanyak 80 bilion ringgit Malaysia atau 20 bilion US dollar pada tahun 2030. Pembangunan ekosistem halal negara turut didukung oleh penganjuran pameran halal antarabangsa Malaysia MIHAS yang merupakan pameran perdagangan halal terbesar di dunia. Pameran MIHAS pada tahun ini akan dilaksanakan dari 23 hingga 26 September 2026 bertempat di Pusat Pameran dan Perdagangan Antarabangsa Malaysia MATRADE. Pada tahun lalu, MIHAS telah mencapai rekod baru di mana jumlah transaksi keseluruhan MIHAS 2025 adalah sebanyak 6.05 bilion ringgit Malaysia yang dilaporkan oleh komponen-komponen MIHAS. MIHAS 2025 turut menyaksikan penyertaan pempamer tempatan dan luar negara yang mengisi 2,400 reduai pameran. Manakala jumlah pelawat yang direkodkan adalah seramai 50,000 daripada 80 buah negara. Antara komponen utama MIHAS yang turut mendapat penekanan adalah program penyumberan antarabangsa International Sourcing Program (INSP), di mana pada tahun 2025 yang telah memadankan sebanyak 1,000 syarikat Malaysia dengan 500 pembeli berpotensi, termasuk 50 pembeli premium melalui sesi padanan perniagaan yang dianjurkan secara fizikal dan maya. Jumlah jualan yang disumbangkan oleh komponen INSP adalah berjumlah 3.63 bilion ringgit Malaysia atau 60% daripada keseluruhan nilai jualan yang dijana semasa MIHAS 2025. Pencapaian MIHAS di sepanjang penganjurannya di dalam negara semenjak tahun 2004 telah menyuntik MATRADE untuk membawa jenama besar MIHAS ke luar negara melalui penganjuran inisiatif pengantarabangsaaan MIHAS di beberapa pameran perdagangan terpilih. Pada tahun 2024, MIHAS telah dianjurkan di Dubai bersempena pameran Middle East Organic and Natural Product Expo Dubai yang merekodkan jualan sebanyak 2.2 bilion ringgit Malaysia. Dan inisiatif kedua yang dianjurkan bersempena pameran China International Import Expo CIIE pada tahun 2025 yang merekodkan jualan sebanyak 3.2 bilion ringgit Malaysia. Angka ini bukan sekadar nombor, ia adalah bukti kejayaan yang dapat dicapai bersama. Berbekalkan iltizam dan komitmen ini, MATRADE kini telah memulakan persiapan bagi penganjuran MIHAS edisi ke-22 bertemakan merangka kepercayaan memacu inovasi bagi terus mengantarabangsakan produk dan perkhidmatan halal ke peringkat global. Tema ini adalah sejajar dengan fokus Malaysia untuk terus mengekalkan piawaian bagi memelihara kepercayaan dan pematuhan kepada pensijilan halal yang digariskan, memandangkan halal Malaysia dikenali umum sebagai yang terbaik di dunia. Rangka kerja pensijilan halal Malaysia juga telah diiktiraf di peringkat global yang mampu memberikan keyakinan kepada pembeli dan rakan kongsi di seluruh dunia. Perbezaan yang paling ketara dalam ekosistem halal berbanding industri lain adalah dari segi keupayaan industri halal untuk berinovasi seiring dengan rangka kerja kawal selia yang kukuh sekaligus mewujudkan keseimbangan unik antara kepercayaan dan momentum masa hadapan. Tadbir urus yang mantap tidak akan menghadkan kemajuan Sebaliknya, menjadi pemacu kepada inovasi yang berterusan di dalam industri halal. Dengan piawaian yang jelas dan terancang, ia akan menggalakkan syarikat untuk terus berinovasi. Inovasi adalah penentu masa depan kita. Atas sebab ini, kita perlu menumpukan usaha untuk melangkau dari sektor tradisional, merangkumi perdagangan digital, farmaceutical dan penyelesaian mampan. Pada asasnya, usaha ini adalah aplikasi kecerdasan buatan AI yang bertanggungjawab memperkasakan proses pembuatan keputusan yang lebih tepat berasaskan data. Bagi terus membangun dan memperkukuh industri halal negara, tuan-puan memainkan peranan penting, terutamanya wakil dari kementerian, kerajaan negeri dan agensi kerajaan bagi menarik penyertaan lebih ramai syarikat-syarikat Malaysia, terutamanya perusahaan mikro, kecil dan sederhana (PMKS) untuk terus terlibat di dalam agenda pengantarabangsa produk dan perkhidmatan halal ke pasaran melalui pameran MIHAS. Sokongan anda adalah diperlukan bagi memperkasa jenama halal Malaysia ke pasaran luar melalui MIHAS sebagai platform utama industri halal. Terima kasih dan jumpa anda di MIHAS 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Abu Bakar, for that very inspiring keynote from the strong economic contribution of the halal industry to the global success of MIHAS. Your sharing has truly reinforced Malaysian position as a leader in the global halal ecosystem. We truly appreciate your sharing and leadership in setting the tone for today's session. I would like to again remind all the audience, if you have any question, please, you can leave it on the chat box. Our team will try our best to actually respond to you, but also we're going to take some Q&As for the question if we want to direct it to Puan Zuhaila or Mr. Aklan. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, to further go into the next session, we would like to leave with some director remarks. I would like to invite Yang Berusaha Mr. Izham Abdul Hamid, Director of Halal F&B and Agro-Based Halpas Section, to deliver his remarks.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day everyone, and a very warm welcome to all our distinguished guests, partners and industry friends. Thank you for taking this time to join us for this strategic briefing on MIHAS 2026. We truly appreciate your presence, and it's very encouraging to see such strong participation today. It clearly shows that we all recognize the growing importance of the halal economy, not just in Malaysia, but globally. As our CEO mentioned earlier, the halal industry today is no longer limited to just food and beverages. It has grown into a vibrant multi-sector ecosystem covering pharmaceuticals, cosmetics, Islamic finance, digital platforms, and even lifestyle industries. And what's interesting is that it's now attracting a much broader global audience, driven by demand for quality, safety, transparency, and ethical standards. These shifts present a real opportunity for businesses to position themselves in a fast-growing and future-ready market. At the same time, Southeast Asia, especially ASEAN, continues to stand out as a strategic growth region with strong economic fundamentals, a rising middle class, and excellent connectivity to global markets. This region offers immense potential for businesses looking to expand. And within this landscape, Malaysia plays a unique role. With our globally recognized halal certification, strong institutional support, and extensive trade networks, we are all well positioned as a trusted gateway into the global halal ecosystem. As highlighted earlier, MIHAS is not just an exhibition. It is a results-driven platform that connects businesses, facilitates trade, and delivers real outcomes. In fact, MIHAS last year recorded 6.05 billion ringgit, or equivalent to 1.5 billion US dollar in total sales through programs like the International Sourcing Program and Hosted Buyer Program. We have also been able to generate strong export opportunities, not just for Malaysia, but for our international partners as well. Building on this momentum, MIHAS 2026 will aim to go even further, creating more opportunities across sectors, strengthening partnerships, and helping businesses integrate into global supply chains. So today's session is not just about sharing information, it's really about getting aligned, being prepared, and working together. It's an opportunity for all of us to better understand how we can leverage MIHAS 2026 to unlock new opportunities and drive meaningful impact. We hope today's briefing will give you useful insights and practical ideas as you plan your participation. With that, thank you once again for your time and continued support. We look forward to your active participation throughout this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Izham, for your warm and encouraging remarks. We hope all participants are now ready and excited to ask or to get more insight about this MIHAS 2026 this year. Ladies and gentlemen, I must say we have had the privilege of hearing from two inspiring and dynamic speakers today, and I'm sure everyone here is now feeling more prepared and excited for MIHAS 2026. We have now come to the last segment of our webinar, which is the Q&A session. You're welcome to ask questions or share your comments with the speakers. Please feel free to type your questions in the chat box together with your name, organization, and email address. We shall respond to it directly, raise it to our speakers, or email to you separately the information after the session ends, if time does not permit. Let's kick things off with the first question from the chat box. So I can see here from Miss Penny, Cambridge Sendian Berhad. I believe this question is actually direct to both of Mr. Aklan and also Puan Zuhaila. Yes, any measures to make sure the exhibitor don't pack so early, as it really gives bad impression to latecomers who come to the last day at 5 p.m.
Thank you so much, Aizat. Cik Aklan, you want to kickstart this, or I can give a little bit of a preamble? Yeah, I mean, this is quite a common feedback, not only for MIHAS, but at many trade events around the world. A lot of exhibitors, when it's the last day, usually they'll park very early. And, for many reasons, some of them, for especially foreign exhibitors, sometimes they have to leave early to catch a flight, or they have any other plans. But for our Malaysian exhibitors, it's quite a common understanding for some that, okay, it's the last day that we can leave early. But we'll take this feedback into consideration. I agree. This is also a concern for many other trade events around the world, honestly. And some events, I know, they even post a fee, a fine. If you pack early on the last day, they would actually fine you some amount of money. So some exhibitors do this. So hopefully we're not going to do that, yeah, Cik Aklam, but we need to do maybe some awareness, and we need to communicate this better to our exhibitors. On the last day, there are opportunities still, and perhaps in that regard, we can think of something along the way to ensure that, there are activities as well being amplified even towards the end of the event. So, Encik Aklan, maybe you can add on that?
Thank you, Puan. It's like this, dear exhibitor. If I may, Puan, yeah, if you leave early, you live in a very happy mood and all that, I don't mind. Jangan you leave early because you're not happy with the show. Okay, that will be another issue lah, But as far as the operation is concerned, yeah, because I think the issue why most of the shows like in Malaysia, they don't allow you to go out is because of logistic wise. Because you see, as you can see, when you during build up, you can see all these big lorries, transport, to try to move in and all that. You just imagine the same place for exhibitor to go in and out during the move out is going to be very congested. You see, so these are the reason why we are actually having this program and schedules. We don't allow the exhibitor to actually move out earlier, because that whole entire area where the exhibitor most probably will use to move out all their things are being used by the freights. So it's more of about try to minimize the risk that being exposed to the exhibitors, because you're talking about heavy and large exhibits and all that, you see. So here we are, you can see about 3 to almost like 40-footer kind of a trucks. So these are the things that we don't encourage our exhibitors to leave early. Okay, but then again, in any other circumstances where the emergency is concerned, talk to us. We can actually facilitate. If that you really have to leave early, we can actually facilitate. Yeah, because at the end of the day, we have our official freight forwarders and also traffic to control all the movement. We do not want you guys to be caught in the middle of it. Yeah. Okay. And then, yes, I agree, Puan. The money they use is not actually for us to make money. It's actually a control measure, because, human being, when you talk about money, this is where they actually listen. When you don't talk about money, I mean, they can just simply ignore. And then these are the things that we do not want to happen. So I believe in the past, why they use, put some charges is not because they want to make money, is for them to really try to get, whatever rules and regulations for the show are being implemented and accordingly. Yeah, that's from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aklan. Thank you, Puan Zuhaila. I believe just now when I read through the earlier chat, maybe this is best for Puan Zuhaila to answer. What is actually the difference of INSP and also hosted buyers? And does the booth price is actually include INSP? Puan Zuhaila.
Okay. Thank you, Aizat. So INSP, as mentioned, is our signature B2B matching program. So MATRADE has been organizing INSP for many, many decades. Previously, it was called different names, but INSP now is well known as a very unique B2B, dedicated B2B initiative by a TPO, and I think it's one of the strongest, if not the best, in the region. So what we do is typically our trade officers around the world will source for the buyers from all parts of the world. Yeah, so it can be from Africa, Europe, Oceania, Latin America, North America, from all over the world. So we have 47 trade officers around the world. So they work very closely with our headquarters to ensure that we'll be able to funnel the substantial amount of buyers at this INSP. So during MIHAS, we'll have a big space where we'll put table and chairs, and then the buyers and sellers will be sitting in front of each other. The sellers will be pitching their products with the samples, and then the buyers will be asking about RFQs, the pricing, the terms and whatnot. And each company will be spending around 30 minutes per meeting. So, and then there'll be pre-scheduled meeting. So before you come for the NSP, all the schedules have been sorted already. So it will be formed to the buyers and sellers, and then you come on that day according to the time slot, and then you do your discussion. There are also occasions where we have already scheduled the meetings and the companies, either the buyers or the sellers, might not be present. So for our Malaysian companies, we would like to take this opportunity to remind you, do not miss out on this opportunity. It's not easy for us to, number one, bring global buyers. There's cost to it. Number two, for you to meet with global buyers in Malaysia without traveling overseas. So don't lose out the opportunity, number one. And of course, INSP is targeted at the Malaysian exporters. So what we do through INSP, we match our Malaysian exporters so that they can sell globally. So when we talk about a global event, of course, there'll be global participation. So there must be more added value for the global participants. So we thought, unlike any other events, you have to depend on the app to just do business matching on your own. But you might be meeting the wrong partner. It's just like speed dating when you go, couples when they go for speed dating, right? I don't know whether you've gone for one. I've been to one. So what you do is that you have to find your match, right? Sometimes the people that you met might not be the right match. So that's one of the downsides, I think, when you use app and technologies. That's why at the same time, while we ease the process through technology, we have got to add value with wisdom. So this wisdom comes from the human intervention. So that's why it's unique, our business matching program in the INSP, and hosted by a program which is targeted for global participants to meet with Malaysian buyers. So INSP is about from Malaysia going out, hosted by this program from outside coming to Malaysia, to think about it simply. So this is important, ladies and gentlemen, because in the current economic landscape, right, like I mentioned many times, countries must work very well together, must work better together, and we as government or public sector must work very well with the private sector to create a platform. So the government creates the platform, the opportunities, and it all boils down to the private sector, the companies, on how they want to leverage or make full use of this platform. So I think I hope that clarifies the difference between INSP and hosted by a program. And the pricing, I think I have to pass that to Encik Aklan.
Yes, about that pricing. Thank you for Zaila for your details explanation about the INSP program, also hosted by us. I think next, I believe we see a lot of question in the chat direct towards our event partners, which is ES, about the 10% discount. Mr. Aklan, if you can elaborate a little bit more, because I do believe that our audience would like to grab this opportunity as soon as possible before they miss it out.
Okay. 10%, very straightforward. Whatever size, for example, 9 square meters, 18 square meters, whatever amount in total. So you'll be given 10% from now on until end of the month. Regardless how many square meters or size of a booth that you might take. But if, let's say, normally, I mean, this is usual, the exhibitor will ask for more. As I said again, you gain some, I gain some, you take some, I take some. So I based on that principle, come and talk to us. Like, if there's any substantial amount in terms of square meters of booth that you think you deserve to be given more square meters, come talk to us. Okay, because at the end of the day, as I said again, because we can't do this without you guys. We cannot have an exhibition without an exhibitor in it, So let's talk about it. So whatever that you see on the screen, as far as the webinar is concerned today, is actually a rate that given, a published rate that given to all exhibitor across the board. And a declarations of a 10% discount for all. And then if you think that you require more, come and talk to us. As I shared just now, the contact details of all our salespeople, they should be able to assist you and make your participations, the process, everything as smooth as possible. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aklan. I believe we will take this last one, which is the question from MTC Malaysia. INSP participants, seller and buyers are both participants, and buyers program would not have the booth there. Ms. Puan Zohaila, if you can elaborate a little bit more
Yeah, I
about
think I
this.
just answered this question, whether you can take part in the INSP if you're not an exhibitor, right? So for the past practices, definitely INSP is open to all Malaysian companies, whether you're exhibitors or not. But from experience, buyers, because 30 minutes of discussion is just the opening. You have to do a number of discussions, follow up to ensure that you can secure the deal. So having your physical presence there, definitely helps to, number one, to showcase or to visualize your credibility, to the buyers, and secondly, to facilitate also follow-up discussions. And not to mention, the visitors are also, some of them they are buyers. They're also buyers who come on their own. They register as visitors and they will go and scout for new products. So that's why INSP is a good initiative for one day, one-off engagement. But what's next? That's why we highly recommend that you have both, physical presence, and also you take part in NSP, and then if you have the means, you can also take part in the virtual format. So you have a very cohesive presence throughout MIHAS.
Thank you so much, Puan Sohaila, for the explanation. And ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our webinar today. I would like to thank our speakers for making their time today. To our participants, we truly appreciate your engagement, insightful question, and active participation. We hope that you have gained valuable market insight, which will further assist you in your exporting journey through MIHAS. Before we conclude, I would like to once again invite all participants to scan the QR code, which is at the end of my holding slide. If we can go towards the end of it, displayed on your screen. Yeah. To share your feedback, excuse me, to actually share your feedback in today's webinar, please note that only those who complete this process registered and share with us will receive the presentation slide from the speakers, which will be shared by the Secretariat within 3 working days. With that, ladies and gentlemen, MIHAS 2026 is not just a trade exhibition, but a comprehensive platform that connects businesses, drives innovations, and opens doors to global halal opportunities. We hope today's session will provide you with the right insight and strategies to make the most of your participation in MIHAS 2026. And the most important thing, we hope to see all of the participants today. About almost 90 people will be in MIHAS 2026. Right, Puan Zuhaila and Mr. Aklan?
Yes.
Okay, everyone. Hope to
Thank
see you guys again.
you.
See you in MIHAS 2026.
See you in
Bye.
September. Register soon. Bye.